Welcome back to the Veteran and Rookie Podcast, everybody. And we're getting into the good stuff here in the offseason. This is your veteran speaking here, Benea.
This is not veteran. This is John. Hello.
Slowly becoming a veteran, though.
Yeah, buddy.
The offseason is basically upon us in full force now, with free agency opening up on Monday unofficially. Nothing's official till Wednesday, which by the time you're hearing this, it is at least Wednesday, if not further, depending on the time that you are listening to it. But now most of the things that have happened have probably happened officially. Isn't that exciting? Jimmy Garoppolo, he's a Raider. Sexy Derek Carr is now with the Raiders. So good for them.
He's a better game manager than Derek Carr, I guess.
I think Derek Carr's a better quarterback, though.
Yeah, he's a better quarterback, but...
Let's see. We'll hit some news real quick here. Today we are going to be doing our running back rankings, though, ranking who, in our opinion, are our top 32 running backs. We are recording this on Tuesday night. It is, March 14th? Nice. So
6:20 or 31 and a half.
O'clock. So anything that happens after this, unless we have some breaking news on the show, which would be exciting.
Really cute stuff, yeah.
Andy Dalton is signed with the Carolina Panthers. Matt Ryan cut by the Indianapolis Colts. Samaje Perine, who you really like, signs with the Denver Broncos.
I do like Perine.
Stephon Gilmore traded from the Colts to the Cowboys. Rashad Penny, you like Rashad Penny. He's now a member of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, that's okay.
Darren Waller, star tight end from the Raiders, is no longer there. He got traded to the New York Giants. Aaron Rodgers is now the general manager of the New York Jets. Let's see. What else?
He's not actually, though.
Raheem Mostert got re-signed to Miami Dolphins. Speaking of New York Jets, they also got Al Nazar. Jacoby Myers, who threw a pass to the Raiders for a game-winning Raiders touchdown earlier this season, is now a member of the Raiders. So good for him.
Jacoby Myers is, or was, who was he?
Receiver on the Patriots. You remember the play where they were tied at 24?
Yeah.
So now he plays for them, which seems appropriate. Taylor Heineke is now an Atlanta Falcon. Matt Gay goes from the Rams to the Indianapolis Colts. What are your thoughts on that?
He's a good kicker.
He is a good kicker. Let's see.
He was good in fantasy. I think he was like top 4 or 5 in fantasy all year.
Yeah.
He's a
Sam
pretty good
Darnold,
kicker.
part of the San Francisco 49ers, future Hall of Famer Sam Darnold.
Uh-oh.
The Bills lose Tremaine Edwards, who signs a 4-year deal with the Chicago Bears. How do you think this is going to affect Buffalo's defense?
We're going to lose every game this year. They're going to go 0-17.
Yeah, I love how the Bills are just falling apart, and then the Dolphins are just getting stronger, and then the Jets are getting stronger, and the Bills are going to miss the playoffs and win 7 games next year because of their bum quarterback, Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Literally the worst human on the planet. Jesse Bates goes from the Bengals to the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons making some good moves in free agency. The big question is quarterback, because I don't really believe in Desmond Ridder. Heineke is a good backup. Go get Lamar or something. Like, you got that Home Depot money, so use it.
What?
Yeah, the owner of the Falcons also owns Home Depot.
Oh, yeah. I remember hearing about that.
So he's got all that money laying around that he can give a guaranteed contract to Lamar. Do it.
Oh, that reminded me. One of our friends, his name was Levi.
It's still his name, I think.
I think it might be still his name. But he is so terrible at throwing footballs.
He's the worst.
He cannot do it. Like,
you think I'm bad? No. I mean, I am, but like, he's worse.
You think I'm bad? No, I'm very good. Comparatively, you're like super good.
I'm like Tom Brady.
It's the difference
He's
between
a Nathan Peterman.
The difference between you and Levi is the difference between you and Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And okay, so he's very bad, but
he's not an unathletic guy. He's pretty athletic, and like he enjoys football too. It's not like he's not a football guy, but it's just like he can't throw a football to save his life.
And somebody very wealthy tried to teach him once. It was the owner of the Falcons tried to teach him how to throw a football, and he
also
couldn't
the
do
owner
it.
of Home Depot.
The owner of Home Depot, yeah. And that's what reminded me of that.
Couldn't do it.
Couldn't get it. He was doing it for like, I think he said it was some close to 2 hours he was trying to teach him, and he couldn't throw it, which is crazy.
Man.
If you're out there listening to Levi, Like
What the heck?
Like, come on, what the heck? I guess it was because it was the Falcons. I mean, if it was another team, he probably
I
would
don't
have
know.
learned
Matt
how to
Ryan was there, and he's probably a Hall of Famer. So
That's weird that Matt Ryan's a Hall of Famer. I don't like that.
2016 MVP. Case Keenum signs with the Houston Texans back where he began his career. It was either that or the Rams. I don't really remember because he bounced back and forth between them a lot. Mike White is a Miami Dolphin. Solid backup there behind Tua. Jared Stidham. You remember Jared Stidham? He
No.
balled out in one game against the 49ers last year when he was with the Raiders. He is now Russell Wilson's backup in Denver. Austin Eckler requests a trade from the Chargers, and they're just like, okay. So the Chargers are into losing, it looks like.
It's looked like that for years.
Yeah, especially after like this last year in the playoffs, and then also going back to 1960. They're kind of like really into that. And then the big news from Sunday, really like one of the first big pieces of news, Jalen Ramsey to the Miami Dolphins. Like I say, they're just getting better and better, and they got him for a 3rd-round pick and like their backup tight end.
Who's
Like,
caught one pass.
Yeah, so huge W from the Miami. They get an upgrade at corner because I think they missed out or they cut Byron Jones, and then they just upgrade at cornerback. So, like, if Miami's not really good next year, like, Tua's got to go because I like Tua. I want Tua to succeed. I need to see it, and I need to see it consistently.
I
He's
hope
fine, but, like, you got to take that next step because you're on a stacked roster now.
I hope they get like really good, but not better than the Bills. I hope they get the 5 seed.
I hope they sweep the Bills and get the 1 seed and go 17-0 and win the Super Bowl and become the second team to go undefeated.
Okay. Do I have to do this again? Put my hand behind my head?
Yeah,
like
that
this?
way. Well, I did check the YouTube preview, and it was that. John always puts his hand like behind his neck or whatever, behind his head when he's sitting in the chair, and then that he does that like every episode, and then it just becomes like the little preview on the YouTube thumbnail.
I'm picking lice out.
So yeah, he is littered with lice. in his
And
hair.
more football, too.
It's just all up in his hair.
They're playing football up there.
They are the little lice. And then I think one of the first big pieces of news was the Carolina Panthers trading for the 1st overall pick.
Yep.
From the Chicago Bears for DJ Moore, 2 firsts and I think 2 seconds. So, you know, at first everyone's clowning on the Panthers because I mean that is a massive haul, but I mean to get the 1st overall pick, that's kind of what it takes. So, and if there's anything we've learned over the last few years, we cannot judge a trade instantly, even if it looks like it's a huge W for the Bears. If the Panthers go out and draft some, you know, 1st ballot Hall of Fame quarterback and the Bears draft a bunch of draft busts, then this goes in Carolina's favor.
They still have DJ Moore, though, which is they really needed a receiver.
Yeah, Justin Fields finally got himself a real receiver. And then having Darnell Mooney and Chase Claypool as your 2 and 3, that's pretty good.
That's not bad.
Did you see that DJ Moore? He's been in the league since 2017, I want to say, or 2018. He has more career receiving yards than anybody in the Bears' over 100-year history.
That's crazy.
He has like 5,000 yards in his career. No receiver for the Bears has played for the Bears in that time has amassed 5,000 plus receiving yards.
You mean on the Bears? Like, cause
the Bears, like for their all-time receiving leaders.
Because I'm sure, like, people with that.
Yeah, because Brandon Marshall played for the Bears for a few years, and he played for over a decade, but he only played a couple years for the Bears. He also played for, like, the Jets, the Giants, the Broncos. So, but just for players that have played for them, because, I mean, like, the Packers have a lot of guys like, you know, Jordy Nelson, Donald Driver, Devontae Adams. They have a whole list of guys who are like that. But I guess when your team has never had a good quarterback, that will hurt your receiving numbers.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't think he's that good of a quarterback. He's a good runner, but he missed wide open people.
Mm-hmm.
He could not hit his guys, and they're not good receivers out there.
I got to say, though, as a Packers fan, I am a little bit scared of the Bears. I think Justin Fields could very well take that next step, especially with a real wide receiver now, and now they have draft capital for the next couple of years.
Man, both of our divisions, we're getting kicked out.
I know. The Bears are going to take mine, or the Lions, not the Vikings. And then I love how the Patriots are like definitely like dead last in the East.
Oh, 100%.
Because like the Bills are better than them, the Dolphins are better than them, the Jets are better than them. Even if they don't get Aaron Rodgers and they have to go sign Teddy Bridgewater or something like that, like they're still better than the Patriots because the Patriots have done nothing.
Patriots
in free
bad.
agency. They have like one receiver on their team right now.
Jeez.
I think it's Nelson Aguilar. I'm not sure though, but
Belichick is a terrible coach. He should be fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's some of the big news that's happened. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that's happened overall, and it's going to keep happening. I really thought by now that at least Aaron Rodgers would be traded. It kind of makes sense why Lamar hasn't, been traded or anything's happened there yet. But
today's the 14th.
Today is the 14th.
So today's the last day, right?
With Lamar is, I think if a team puts in an offer, then it kind of puts them in handcuffs for a few days until the Ravens decide to match the offer or not. Mm-hmm. And so if like the Jets went out to do that, and then they would miss out on a shot at getting Aaron Rodgers if they tried to go after Lamar like that, which is I think why that hasn't happened yet.
He's just going to go undrafted.
Lamar just won't be on a team next year.
That'd be hilarious, man.
He's just going to be chilling.
He goes to the I'm stupid. He goes to another team with a better quarterback and is the backup.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be funny.
Maybe Aaron Rodgers wants him on his Jets.
Patrick Mahomes backup.
The GM of.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I do definitely feel like Lamar's going to get traded, though. I didn't think that a few weeks ago, but it just kind of seems like the relationship between him and the organization has soured a little bit. But maybe they can fix that up and stuff, too. I mean, that's totally possible. I wouldn't be completely shocked if he stuck around there, but, like, I don't know. I also don't believe anything right now because it's the offseason and everything is a lie.
Yeah, I don't think he'll stay there either. They haven't paid him. They haven't. And it's been like they had a ton of time to do it.
Should have paid him after 2020. That's when Josh Allen got paid, and they were the same draft class.
Disrespected my mans.
For real.
And, like, and he was better than Josh Allen for a long time.
He has an MVP. Josh Allen has, like, one MVP vote.
That's correct.
Actually, he's got a few more than that, but
he has more than that. That's correct.
He's got more than Russell Wilson. And it will probably stay that way. But we'll see what happens in Denver this season. So anyway, that's what's been going on in the news for the most part. But you don't come here for the news. You come here for the running back rankings.
Whoop!
We're professional running back rankers, and that's what we're going to be doing today. Taking the top 32 running backs in our opinion and ranking them. So it's not like every team's top rusher, but, because there's going to be teams like the Cowboys that have two top 32 running backs, or the Packers, or a handful of other teams.
The Lions,
yeah. So some teams will not be here. So be warned.
Yeah, correct.
Also, we couldn't include quarterbacks because otherwise Justin Fields and Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen would be here.
And Justin Herbert, or not Justin Herbert.
Not Justin Herbert. Jalen Hurts is a running back.
And Daniel Jones.
Danny Dunn, he's a very good runner.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's basically like Josh Allen level. Think about it.
Almost.
I mean, you could even say he's better than Josh Allen.
You can't say that after.
Yeah, and he's like a better teammate too. And, he took less money than Josh Allen did because he's a team guy,
Team guy for $40 million.
Yep, instead of 43, like the selfish Josh Allen.
What is it, selfish?
The shellfish Josh Allen.
How the frick did Lamar have the most rushing yards out of the quarterbacks besides
Fields?
Besides Fields.
Because he's really fast and he's really good at being fast.
He was out for like 5 games.
Yeah.
What the frick?
And he's still really good, and the Ravens still don't want to pay him.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently nobody else does either.
Poor guy.
Man, what's going on with
He's
Lamar?
He's going to retire early with his one MVP and be done forever.
Yeah, that would be unfortunate. I like Lamar.
I do also.
Lamar to the Packers. No, I want to see Jordan Love. Anyway, running back rankings.
Jordan Love to the Falcons.
Jordan Love to the Falcons. Boom. Jordan Love to the Ravens.
That's the word I was looking for, but I didn't say it.
Oh, you said the wrong team.
That's true.
Oops. Who do you have as your number 32 running back?
I'd like to see who you have as your number 32 running back.
I have Cordell Patterson of the Atlanta Falcons, wide receiver turned running back turned Swiss Army knife, I guess.
I got Ezekiel Elliott.
Wow. Putting a center on the list.
Yeah. He runs the ball sometimes, and he's not good at it.
He's okay at it. I think it's almost like at this point he gets overhated, in my opinion. He's definitely not like a top running back, even though he gets paid like a top running back. But he definitely needs to take some kind of a pay cut or something if he hasn't already. I'm not sure. But yeah, he's fine. I think he was like second or third in rushing touchdowns this past season. So it's not like he's a complete bum. He's just like a normal bum.
Tony Pollard's much better.
Oh, 100%. And that's a good move by them for keeping Pollard around. I'm not sure if Pollard's going to be ready for the start of this upcoming season, though, because remember, he had that injury against the 49ers in the playoffs that looked pretty serious. So maybe I guess it's a smart move keeping both of them around.
Hope he gets better. He had 12 rushing touchdowns, tied for third.
Okay, who is he tied with?
He's tied with Josh Jacobs and Nick Chubb.
Okay, yeah. And part of that is he's a lot more of like a power back, while Pollard is more of the explosive running back that will, get you big chunks of yards. And then third down and 1, you put Zeke in there, and then like 50-50 chance he picks it up or loses 5 yards.
Yeah. So that's the problem there, yeah, for sure.
Okay, and then, Cordero Patterson, he was fine. I think he had a 600 or so yards. I guess we could check. And then he had his handful of touchdowns. Not as good as he was a year ago, but he also wasn't even their leading rusher. And but he was a solid running back to have on the squad. Are you looking up his stats right now?
I am. Cordell Patterson got 695 yards.
That's solid, especially for RB2.
Yeah, with 8 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't bad.
Who you got for number 31?
Number 31, I have Cordell Patterson. So
whoa, we just hit him.
We did, yeah.
I got Khalil Herbert at number 31, solid running back for the Bears. He'll probably be their main running back going into the season. Now there's a lot that is still to happen. I think the Bears, they've spent some money in free agency already, but they still have a ton to spend, and I could see them maybe being a team that trades for someone like an Austin Eckler or something like that. So
I'd like to see that. Austin Eckler and Justin Fields on the same team would be crazy.
Oh, man, yeah, Bears will be running all over everyone, especially since Khalil Herbert will still be on that squad there. He's a good RB2 to have on that team. So
yeah, rushed for 731 yards, 4 touchdowns, which is pretty good considering that your quarterback ran for almost 1,300, I think.
I think he had 1,100, I want to say.
Almost 1,200.
Okay, yeah.
So that's pretty good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, crap.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
John doesn't know how to use a computer.
I don't. It's true.
He is a boomer. He opened up the tab in its own window, and he did it again.
I don't know how to make it go back. Help.
You got to drag the tab from that window up to the other one. You're
like
so
this?
Close, buddy. Oh, my goodness.
Like that?
I think so. That's how it
I have my list here now.
Okay, John's autistic.
Oh,
who's your number
goodness.
30 running back in your other window?
Frick. I don't know where to go. Come back.
Number 30.
Number 30, I have Khalil Herbert.
Khalil Herbert, we just hit him up. Did you just take my list and just put Zeke at the bottom and bump everyone else up?
I may have done that, yeah.
All right, and then I got the other Bears running back, David Montgomery. I don't think he re-signed with the team. I could have missed that in the chaos of everything else happening. I believe he is a free agent, though, and he's a solid running back to have. I think he had slightly better stats than Khalil Herbert, right?
Just barely. He had another touchdown and about 60 more yards.
Mm-hmm. I felt like it was fair to have those two Bears running backs right next to each other. Neither of them are superstars or anything, but it's a good 1-2 punch to have.
For sure. Especially with your quarterback rushing all over the place.
Oh, John's going to try again.
It didn't work.
He didn't get it.
I don't want to exit out.
Because then you might lose it. Yeah, you just have to. This is how you live your life now.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna.
It's just with 2 different windows,
kill myself.
And one window just has 1 tab open.
Oh man, this is brutal.
Who's your number 29?
I got David Montgomery.
David Montgomery. We just hit him up.
We did. Who's your 29?
My number 29 is James Conner. Kind of fell off a little bit this season, but it was to be expected because he had 18 touchdowns in 2021, and very rarely does somebody do that in back-to-back seasons. So I can't say I'm necessarily surprised by it, but I was kind of surprised by how well he did. I wasn't really expecting him to make my top 32, and he was right up there.
7 touchdowns and just shy of 800 yards.
Mm-hmm. So, you could put him below one or even both of the Bears running backs there, but I think he's fine where he is at 29.
Yeah, but you didn't, so there it
I
is.
didn't. I did what I did.
It's true.
Who's your 29? Was it Montgomery?
Yeah, it was Montgomery, and my 28 is James Conner. So I really did just move. For the bottom guys. For the most part, I agreed with all of them. I think it changes the next one. The next one will change
It's like just change your homework so that they can't tell that it was me, and you said, okay, I'm put Zeke at the bottom, and then now no one knows you cheated.
Facts.
Who did you say your 28 was? Was it James Conner?
Mm-hmm.
My number 28. I got A.J. Dillon, Quadzilla. Doesn't skip leg day, and he's a good running back, and I think he could be RB1. I thought he was going to be a couple years ago when Aaron Jones' contract was up. I thought they were going to move on to A.J. Dillon being RB1. They decided to keep Jones around, which I'm okay with because that's a really good 1-2 punch for the green and gold to have.
Yeah, I'm just looking for his stats here. I can't seem to find him, but
I think he was around the 700-yard mark, and he had a good handful of touchdowns as well.
Yeah. I'm just trying to...
Just killing
Sorry, my fault. Yeah, 770 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
777.
Boom.
Good.
Number of perfection, because A.J. Dillon is perfect. He's not, because otherwise he would be number 1.
That's facts.
Maybe one day. Who do you have at number 27?
So you're going to love this. It's A.J. Dillon.
Whoa. I remember that guy.
You don't.
My number 27 is Devin Singletary of the Buffalo Buffs. Will he be their RB1 in the future? I don't know. I feel like they're another candidate for someone like an Austin Eckler, because it does kind of feel like that is one of the big things they're missing on offense. You know, we talked about maybe them getting someone like a Saquon Barkley. There were a few other names out there I think we talked about, but yeah, Austin Eckler, another potential candidate for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. I'd be psyched for that. That'd be sweet.
Where do you have Devin Singletary at, or what are Devin Singletary's numbers looking like?
He has 819 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had himself a solid season, and add in James Cook slowly getting better throughout the year as well. Them trading for Naheem Hines at the trade deadline, who's solid. I don't know how much of an upgrade he was over Zach Moss, but I mean, he was definitely there.
Moss was not very good.
He was a solid running back, so.
Yeah. We're going to
26.
Okay, so I have Devin Singletary.
Whoa, unbelievable. I just appreciate all the hard work that you've put into this list, Jonathan.
I did a lot of moving around higher up. I didn't really look at the bottom there too much.
You could have at least just mixed them up, because I feel like a lot of these guys are more or less interchangeable.
Yeah, I know. That's why I didn't really move it around.
You
thought
could have put Devin Singletary at 32.
Yeah, he's okay. They're all okay, and I for the most part agree with just
and you
them
didn't even want to change it up
being there. Yeah.
Okay.
You.
My number 26, Ezekiel Elliott. So this is where you took him from in my list and then just moved him directly down to the bottom. Again, like I said, I think Zeke's a little bit overhated, also overpaid.
Yeah, for sure. You're on 25. You're on 26, right?
Yeah, you're 26 with Singletary, right?
My 20. Yeah.
So you're 25.
My 25 is Raheem Mostert.
Raheem Mostert. He's really fast.
That's about it.
He just got re-signed to the Dolphins on a 2-year contract, so good for him. Running it back with Miami.
Yeah, he doesn't really look like a running back when I see him running. It reminds me of when he gets hit or goes into somebody, he doesn't really move them. He kind of moves himself. He doesn't have a lot of...
just bounces off of him.
He feels small and fragile.
I don't think he's very injury prone though.
He's not, but the way I'm thinking of it, he's fast and he can get away from people. When he can do that, it's good. He can get yards, he can get you touchdowns, whatever, even though he only got 3. But when he's going into somebody, he needs to break a tackle. When I saw
he's not a power back.
I didn't see a lot of it. I didn't see a lot of getting through people. They were grown men and he was a child, and they just...
The only thing I can think of Raheem Mostert this past season was him rushing for a touchdown against the Bills in that snow game.
That was a good one, yeah.
Which was a really good one. He had a good day in that one.
He did, yeah.
Buffalo barely won, but don't get used to it. You're not going to be beating Miami after this season.
Dude, we're not. Oh, my gosh. I'm going to get... Josh Allen's going to get picked off so many times by Ramsey. Oh, my goodness.
He's going to get owned.
Mostert had just shy of 900 yards and 3 touchdowns, like I said earlier. And, pretty solid receiver in a running back's shoes.
My number 25, this might be a touch low, but I got Joe Mixon. I felt like he was better than he was, and I checked, and he was like 800 yards and 5 touchdowns. Is that right? John's going to look up his stats real quick. He did have like 400 receiving yards, though, so he was a good option in the pass game. I thought maybe he'd get cut by the Bengals and they'd roll with Samaje Perine, but as we covered earlier, Perine's with the Broncos now, and it looks like Mixon's still on the Bengals, so I guess he's sticking around.
Beating his kid.
It was somebody else's, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's all right then. He had 815 yards, 14, excuse me. I know someone's going to get so upset at me.
Yep. You know our listeners.
Yeah. And he had 7 touchdowns. So he was a touch better than these guys down here, but he did also miss a couple games there.
Mm-hmm.
So he played well with the time he had, I think. That's why I have him a bit higher.
You're acting like he died or something with the time he had.
He did well with the time he had. He said hi to... He spent time with the ones he loved
and the children also.
Yeah, and he like threw his girlfriend into the TV a little bit.
That was somebody else.
That was someone else?
That was.
Someone else's girlfriend?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good for him,
that
I
makes
guess.
it okay. 24.
24, I got Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor, JT. Talk about disappointment. I mean, he was probably like 50% at least, if not more, of the first overall pick in fantasy this year.
I'm glad I didn't get it.
Yeah, I mean, you went Cooper Kupp, which was good in the first half of the season until he got hurt. But
that was a bummer.
Honestly, I would have rather had that than Jonathan Taylor, though.
Me too.
Because this guy has 1,600 yards his rookie year, 1,800 yards the next year. Oh my goodness, what's he going to do in year 3? 800 yards.
860 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, as I was ranking these guys, I was like, yeah, Joe Mixon, Jonathan Taylor do kind of have to like stick together. They had very similar and disappointing seasons.
Again, and because I have Joe Mixon higher, because I want to defend my pick.
Uh-huh.
So I think Joe Mixon would have been, I think he would have broke 1,000 if he didn't have time off, and he would have got.
He also had a lot more receiving yards, I believe.
He did as well, yeah. He had a pretty fair amount.
My number 24, Raheem Mostert. We already hit him, though, so who's your number 23?
Alvin Kamara.
Alvin Kamara, while he's still a free man.
What? Is he going to jail or something?
Maybe he beat someone up in Las Vegas like a year ago.
Dude, what is
and still played football, and now they're like looking into it more because the legal system is the way that it is.
Very cute.
Mm-hmm.
He had just shy of 900 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Again, though, he rarely will break the 1,000-yard mark rushing because he gets involved a lot in the receiving side of things.
100%, yeah, for sure.
He's someone I guess could be a little bit higher, but he's not the Alvin Kamara of old that we saw in like 2017 through 2020.
Yeah, he was good in like 2 games, and I remember that from fantasy. David, the guy we had on a couple months ago, he had him in fantasy, and the week that he got 50 fantasy points, he had someone else who also got like 40 fantasy points. And he just broke 200 for his whole team, which was crazy. And that's why I remember Alvin Kamara had 1 good game.
Yep. Let's see. Was that 23?
That was 23, yeah.
My number 23, Jonathan Taylor, who we already hit up. So 22.
22 is where I put Joe Mixon.
Solid.
I think he's a touch better than Jonathan Taylor and just a touch better than Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, that's fair.
Stats will show that he is just slightly worse than Kamara for rushing, but he had 7 touchdowns for rushing. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, my number 20. Are we on 22? Was it?
That was 22, yeah.
22, I got Alvin Kamara, who we just talked about. So he is there, and he's one of the running backs that plays in the NFL.
Yeah, and he plays for a team.
That team being the New Orleans Saints, and soon to be whatever team Henry Ruggs plays for in prison.
Is he still in prison?
Henry Ruggs?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happens when you kill people.
Oh, how old is he?
Like 23, 24.
Oh, shoot. Like, that was recent then,
25, something like that. I don't know. He was drafted in 2020. So.
Was he good?
Yeah.
Like, really good?
He was on his way to being really good, I think.
And then he killed people, right?
And then he went 150 miles an hour drunk driving.
Oh, that one, yeah. I remember that. 21, what do you got?
Number 21, I got Breece Hall. Now, I could see why someone like you or just anyone in general
Someone like you
would put him higher because he was having a great season. Probably would have been the offensive rookie of the year if he didn't get hurt. So I'm kind of playing this both like his performance, but I also am kind of taking away some because of the injury that he had, even though obviously like it wasn't his fault he got hurt, but he did get hurt and only played like half the season. If he played all the season, he might have found his way into my top 10 because he was balling out.
Yeah, he had just shy of 500 yards or a little over 400 and a half. And only on 80 attempts, though.
Mm-hmm.
And
he had like, what was it, like 5.9 yards per carry or something?
Something like that.
Here, I can look it up if that doesn't show you.
It doesn't, but it shows me that he doesn't fumble. He didn't fumble at all. He had 80 carries for 400 and some yards, so that sounds like about 5 yards per carry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just a solid running back who
5.8 yards per carry, which is really good.
Way better than the King Henry. But
So,
King Henry,
King Henry's a workhorse though.
he's a workhorse. He does what he has to.
Or Hall was nice and explosive, and I'm excited for him and the Jets next year to see him ball out.
I'm excited for the Jets to just ruin the
Buffalo Bills.
Dolphins, and then the Bills come in and sweep up after.
Yeah, except the other way.
Yeah, it's probably going to end up the other way.
That was 21. Did we cover your 21?
My 21, I got Pacheco. Isaiah Pacheco.
Oh, okay. Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, buddy.
He was like a 6th or 7th round pick and starting running back for the Chiefs.
I thought there was only 6 rounds.
There's 7 actually.
Oh, there's 7 rounds.
Yep.
Crazy. He had 830 yards, 5 touchdowns. He was good when he played.
Mm-hmm. And he didn't start the season as the starter, but by the end of the season, by the Super Bowl, he was starting over, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Who else did they have on that team? They had Ronald Jones. He didn't play a ton. And I want to say there's someone else I'm forgetting too, but a solid running back room in Kansas City. Not a lot of star power, but I would say he was the best in that running back room. So not bad for a 7th round pick.
Yeah, for sure. We had a lot of late round picks balling out this year, I think.
Mm-hmm. Breece Hall, I think he was like a 2nd round pick, so still kind of high, but yeah, a lot of good rookie running backs, which is typically how it goes.
Yeah, I thought he was a good running back. I thought other people were better at running back. He was really good at blocking, so I think he'd be a good fullback.
I think he's too small to be a fullback.
He did good with his blocking job. He would block.
But also, why would you be a fullback when you can be a good running back?
Because that's both of them, right? You can do both.
I guess. I mean, like in certain packages, they could put him in there at fullback, but he's their best running back. So
yeah, and they did. I seen even in the Super Bowl, he would go out. He'd be there. It'd be a fake handoff, and then someone would come around. He'd block for Patrick Mahomes or the other running back.
Yeah, he did a good job, especially in the pass blocking, I would say.
Yeah, so that's why I had him lower for a running back. He's a good asset to the team.
But you just hate fullbacks, and you want him to be a fullback.
Uh-huh.
Was that 21 or 20?
That was 21 from me.
21. My number 20 now is DeAndre Swift.
Maybe
a little bit high, now that I am thinking about it.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
we
haven't gotten to him on your list yet, so I don't think you can argue with me.
Oh, I can't. But
your number 20?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, tell me about DeAndre Swift. What did he do this season?
Not much.
He was very hot and cold.
He had 542 yards with 5 touchdowns.
So I am going to be restructuring my list and moving him down to 32.
On 99, though. On 99 attempts.
I'm moving him down to 31.
He was pretty good when he was playing. He wasn't their power back, just kind of like...
He was a good RB2.
Yeah, and the season started off with him as RB1, and
it didn't end that way.
It did not end that way,
because he didn't break Barry Sanders' rushing touchdown record. And instead, somebody else who they still have not re-signed did that. We'll get to that when we get there.
Signed him.
19. Number 19, who you got?
Taylor Aguilar.
Tyler Algier.
Tyler Algier, yeah.
Oh, you're close. Another rookie running back taken in the later rounds who played pretty well. I know that I didn't watch a ton of Falcons games this year, but I knew he was solid. But then I looked at his stats. I was like, okay, I didn't know he reached the 1,000-yard mark, and he actually had a pretty solid season.
Yeah, he had 1,000 yards, just over, and 3 touchdowns.
Mhm.
He carried 210 times, which is on the
That's
upper
pretty
end.
good, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of workhorse right there. We're a lot of power to go to him.
Hmm.
My
Yeah.
number 19 was Najee Harris, kind of a disappointing second season for the former first-round pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think people were expecting maybe a little bit more, but I mean, also the Steelers just weren't great this season. Maybe they make the playoffs if he's a little bit better, though. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't find
What
him
did
right here.
Harris do this season?
I don't really care to look, so
Oh,
let's go to
okay.
the next guy.
Fair enough. Number 18,
Number 18, I have Najee Harris.
Najee
and-
Harris. You want to go find his numbers?
Yeah, I'll find him now.
Okay.
Um,
My number 18, while you're looking for that, was Deontay Foreman, who filled in for Christian McCaffrey after he got traded at midseason. And he was very hot and cold. I know he had a game against the Lions where he ran for over 200 yards and he was just unstoppable. And then like the next week he had like 30 yards. So very hot and cold. He was kind of like every other week. He'd have 150 yards and then he'd have 51 or whatever. And
Yeah.
so, but when he was on, man, he was on. And the Panthers, all around, the Panthers got better after they traded CMC. But like it's crazy, even like their ground game got better after they traded their best player, who was their running back.
I think it's a lot because they were like only giving it to CMC. It was only him. It was kind of like the Titans where it's only Derrick Henry, and they had to like expand that way. They had to expand other ways to make things work.
Yeah,
So I guess
they worked under pressure and they did it.
yeah. Najee Harris had just over 1,000 yards, just 1 yard under Tyler Algier, and he had 4 more touchdowns than him.
Najee Harris did.
Yeah,
So maybe he's a little bit low on our lists.
maybe we suck at this.
Maybe he shouldn't have been right next to DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, who were you talking about? The
Deontay Foreman of the
Deontay.
Carolina
Foreman.
Panthers.
Oh
I think he had around 800-ish yards.
my goodness, really?
Yeah. I want to say maybe he was in like the 700-yard mark.
I don't see him.
Here, I'll see if I can find him. Because I know he played pretty good once he actually got himself the
Deontay
starting
Foreman.
job.
He
Oh, you
had,
found him.
He had 914 yards.
And he was
and 5
only the
touchdowns.
starter for half the season.
That's crazy, man.
Like I'm saying, he was pretty good. And I think he's still in the Panthers. I don't think they got rid of him or anything like that. So maybe he'll continue to be their starter there.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, we are taking a lot of time. Oh my holy crap.
Oh, man. Okay. Speeding through the second half of the list now. Number 17, I got Damian Pierce, another young rookie running back. This one to the Houston Texans. Maybe a touch high because he had a really good first half of the season. Kind of fizzled out in the second half, though.
Yeah, I have Deontay Foreman. We talked about him.
Mm-hmm.
I hope he does good next year.
Damian Pierce, what are his numbers? He's right there. On your
Damian
computer.
Pierce, 940 yards and 4 touchdowns. So
It's actually 939 for those of you at home wondering. Moving on to number 16.
I have what is that? What's his
Who?
name? This fella?
Oh, Ramondre Stevenson.
Stevenson. What a dumb name. I hate Ramondre.
Speaking of dumb names, a little side tangent here. Clemson's quarterback, his name is DJ Ukulele, and I'm just like, every time I hear his name, I'm like, no, it's not. I don't even care if that's like legally your name. That's not your name.
It's just
Okay,
freaking hilarious.
That is it's just like a dumb name. I get unnecessarily upset about this name. I'm just like, DJ Ukulele, that's not your name.
Number 15.
Tangent over.
No, number 15.
Number 16, actually.
Number 16.
I didn't go yet.
My fault.
I had Isaiah Pacheco.
Okay.
I
We
had
talked
him
about
initially down closer to the 20s, but I was like, he was actually pretty good this season.
Okay.
So I put him up a little higher.
Number 15, I got Damian Pierce.
Damian Pierce, we already hit him up there. And then my 15 is Tyler Algier, another player who I had, down in like the 20s. And I was like, okay, he actually had a pretty good rookie season there.
Yeah, good for him, man.
Number 14.
Number 14, I had Travis Etienne.
Travis Etienne. I feel like Etienne kind of went under the radar this season because he was like top 10 in rushing. I think he had like 1,100 yards. Really became their RB1. They traded James Robinson at midseason to the Jets after Breece Hall went down. And so that really let Etienne become their RB1. Funny enough, that was right after I traded him away in fantasy football.
Good for you. He was
And then
seventh.
he became RB1.
He was 7th among running backs and 8th overall.
Yeah, so do not hire me as your GM.
Imagine getting outrushed by a quarterback.
I mean, that happened to a lot of players. So.
That happened to everybody except for 5 players. Or
Right?
6 players.
Because Justin Fields is a baller like that.
Justin Fields balling
My
out.
number 14 was Dalvin Cook. Maybe you could put him a little bit higher. I don't know. I was looking at the stats. He's like, okay, he got some solid stats, but then again, like the eye test just really wasn't doing it for me. I think he had the most negative yards, if I remember correctly. I didn't check this beforehand, but I did remember hearing it at one point in time that he had like the most negative runs this past season. So I guess maybe he was really hit or miss. So he was there, though, and he's still a solid running back. We'll see if he stays on the Vikings. There are rumors that he could get traded at some point. So
He also fumbled 3 times. So
I mean, that's not the
no
worst.
No bueno.
It's not great either.
Number 13.
I got Kenneth Walker.
Okay, yeah. Kenneth Walker was really good. No one expected him to be good as a rookie. And
I feel like there was some expectation
not
there.
one
He didn't go
person-
into the seat. You're sounding like people. You're sounding like the Chiefs after they won the Super. Nobody thought we could win the
Okay,
Super
yeah.
Bowl.
I'm just upset because I had
You wanted to pick up him in fantasy, and then Jesse got him instead.
because of our stupid rules in fantasy.
Never play with like the little money rules in fantasy where it goes based off of
how much money you put in.
Well, it goes off of like order or whatever. Let's like the worst teams get the higher order, but also they have to put down more money. Not real money. It's like this fake coin, whatever the frick.
And you can't outbid people because it doesn't
Terrible
show,
rules.
It doesn't show you how much they bid.
Jesse also is the one who recommended those rules.
I hate
Jesse,
Jesse.
you know who you are,
You are Jesse. Imagine having a girl's name.
right?
Loser. I hate.
Or if you're a girl named Jesse, imagine having a boy's name.
No, that's fine if you're a girl, but if you're a guy named Jesse, what are you doing?
So yeah, Kenneth Walker, great rookie season. Could have very well been rookie of the year. Didn't quite get it, but he ended the year as the best rookie running back in my opinion, only because Breece Hall got hurt. But
I think so. Yeah, it was a full complete year. I think it was him.
who's your 13?
I just did 13.
Oh, who was it?
It was Breece Hall.
Oh, okay. Here we
We
go.
talked about him already. Another really good rookie there.
Mhm.
I think, again, I talked about it already, but if
Please say it again.
If he had played the whole season, I think it would have been better than Kenneth Walker. He didn't, though, so that's why he's below him for me.
Like a better full season.
A better full season, I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Number 12, I got Ramondre Stevenson, who you said something about, but we didn't really talk about.
Yeah, we didn't talk too much
I
about
feel like
him.
he also kind of went under the radar for me, at least. Maybe I just don't pay attention to running backs. I don't know, but he had well over 1,000 yards, right?
Just
Or
over, yeah,
just over 1,000 yards?
1,040.
So yeah, not even well over, just over 1,000 yards and a handful of touchdowns. How many did he have?
Just 5.
5 touchdowns. That's solid. He's a Patriots running back, and he does what Patriot running backs do, and that's run the ball.
Oh my gosh, what?
Clip that. Put that on Instagram. I hope that goes viral on Facebook.
You said 12, right?
Yep.
I got Dalvin Cook. We talked about him already. Eye test. Does not look great, but
And you will notice that he is the only running back that we're really using the eye test for, and it's because we hate Dalvin Cook.
It's because if you use the eye test on the other running backs, you can either, a lot of the time, you only notice really good or really bad. A lot of the time.
I mean, I guess for the top part of my list, especially like my top 5, I did use a lot more eye test instead of numbers.
yeah, because they stand out. But a lot of these guys, like,
Najee Harris.
That's the word, yeah. He played like his stats. A lot of these people play like their stats. Jonathan Taylor played like his stats, like his stats show. I think
it
Ezekiel
just
Elliott.
didn't feel like Cook was that good this year.
Exactly.
Or at least, I guess, at least to his standards, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, like even Ezekiel Elliott didn't play to his stats. I think he played worse than them, and he gets given the ball a lot in opportune moments to get him touchdowns.
Goal line situations. And
Goal
whatnot.
line situations, yeah. And that's why I had him so low. It's too low. I know. But I'm
He's your
just,
Trevor Lawrence of this list.
yeah, he is. Screw this guy.
Was that 12?
That was 12.
So number
I got
11.
11. I have Kenneth Walker just outside my top 10.
Yep.
I thought he was really good, very explosive. I saw a video on the way he dodges or not dodges, the way he gets out of the way of tackles and stuff like that. And he doesn't like place his whole foot. He kind of like tiptoes, and it's like really smooth the way he does it, so he doesn't have to like pivot.
Okay. That reminds me of another running back, Alex Collins. He used to play for the Ravens, and then I think he played for the Seahawks. But he would take like ballerina classes to like learn how to be good on his toes and that kind of stuff. And so he used that a lot in running the ball. And you could tell.
Yeah, queer. No, but like he's good at it. And the video I saw said, yeah, it looks great right now, but we're probably going to see his ankles disintegrate on the field one day. So I hope that doesn't happen. I hope he does a lot of jump roping and all this,
Strong ankle stuff.
strong ankle stuff. Yeah, jump roping.
That makes your ankle strong, right?
Probably.
I'd imagine so.
Yeah. Strong
Just
ankle.
outside of my top 10, which would be number 11, Travis Etienne. I already, talked about him. He did his thing.
You
He
sure
did what
did.
Jaguars running backs do. And
You
that's
said
run
that-
the ball.
He did what a running back does, and that's play the game of football run the
and not
ball.
go backwards like some people.
Some people don't play the running back position very well.
Yeah, like you and me.
No, we do not. We are not the shape for running back.
Or any football.
We're different. We're shapes for good. Like if we could like
Like I could make a good football. You could toss me
who's
around.
who's in your 10?
Number 10, I got Jamal Williams, the leading Lions player for single season touchdown records and such. He also broke 1,000 yards, which I didn't know. I thought he was kind of like I thought it would have been like the other way around, where like Swift had more yards, but Williams had more touchdowns. No, Williams was just all around like the best running back there.
Balling, yeah, just over 1,066. 17
I love seeing
touchdowns.
him do well as a former Green Bay Packer.
For real. He's really good, and
He's fun.
He's fun to watch, and he's cool
fun
off the field too.
yeah.
Yeah, like I love the introducing yourself things. It's like whatever you do.
Yeah,
I'm
the
from
things
Clemson or
on like
whatever.
Sunday night.
Yeah, and he was like, he did an anime reference. It was
Yeah.
really cute and adorable.
Weeb.
Yeah, my 10 is Aaron Jones.
Fair enough. Yeah, he only had 2 touchdowns this year, one of which we saw in person, or 2 rushing touchdowns, I should say. I'm not sure about his receiving numbers.
Me neither. He has just over 1,100 yards. He's a good running back.
Mm-hmm. One of
How
the
much else to
NFL's
say?
best, and he's on pace for if he stays with the Packers for the next 3 to 4 years to be their all-time leading rusher.
Yeah,
So
good for
that's
him.
fun.
My 9, Jamal Williams. I have him a bit higher. I think he was better than Aaron Jones. He's fresher. Aaron Jones has been doing it for a while.
They were drafted the same year.
Shut the frick up. I don't know. He feels younger and fresher and sexier and cuter.
Yeah.
I thought Aaron Jones. Maybe I'm thinking of Devontae Smith or someone. I don't know who I'm thinking of.
The wide receiver for the Eagles,
I don't know.
Devontae Adams.
Yeah, that's the one.
Like,
He's
he
old.
plays a receiver though.
Yeah, I thought
He can be
maybe-
old and do that.
Okay.
My number 9, I got Tony Pollard, the explosive running back of the Dallas Cowboys. Like we said, hopefully he can get healthy and play well on that franchise tag.
He
And he just does what Cowboys running backs do best. And
Oh
that's
my
run
god!
the football.
I was gonna do it. And also, no, Cowboys running backs do not do that best.
Cowboys
Zeke.
Cowboys normally have really good running backs, whether it's Emmitt Smith, who was it, Dorsett back in the day before
Zeke.
they fleeced the Vikings. Zeke in his first 3 years of his career.
Sure. My 8, I have Tony Pollard, just a bit above yours.
My 8, I got Aaron Jones,
Okay,
so
yeah,
just above yours.
we talked about them already. 7, I got Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders had off of a career year, I believe. I think 1,200 yards. I think that was
1,200 and
personal best for him.
69 yards.
Awesome.
Very cute. Yeah, 11 touchdowns.
Yeah. I mean, when you're a ground and pound team, a run first team, it's what you do best.
Yeah, the Eagles, what they do as a running back for the Eagles, you just run the ball, and it's
You got to
the
say it
way
with
you
conviction.
do
It's got to
it.
come. It's got to come out of your heart, out of your chest.
The way Eagles running backs run the ball is the way that running backs run the ball when they are an Eagles player.
You just don't do it the same way I do it.
No, I don't.
Austin Eckler, current member as of recording of the LA Chargers. This guy scored 38 touchdowns in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Holy crap.
And the Chargers are like, we'll trade you. So yeah, they don't care about winning, I guess. I don't know. If they want Joshua Kelly to be their main running back,
Good for them, I guess.
go for it.
Chargers won it.
Eckler, go get your bag. I mean, to go from an undrafted free agent to one of the best running backs in the league, I mean, this guy is a baller, and give him the respect he deserves, okay?
Yeah, and everybody slanders him for being a receiver because he's always receiving a lot. He receives a lot.
Yeah, because he's versatile.
No, everyone slanders him because it's like, oh, he's not a good running back. He doesn't do this.
Does anybody say that?
I've seen stuff about the I don't know.
I feel like most NFL fans seem to respect him. It's just the teams that like won't give him the money that I would say he deserves in the market that
I've
he's in.
seen videos of people.
I've been on TikTok.
I have been on, but people like he wasn't in the Pro Bowl because he's not as good of a runner.
Even though the Chargers had the campaign.
I know. That's what I was thinking. He wasn't in the Pro Bowl.
Vote for Austin Eckler 2022, and I did. I don't know about you.
I didn't care enough. But,
Fair enough.
But yeah, I think he should have been in there. He's the only running back in our top 10 that has below 1,000 yards, I believe, rushing.
That's because he's such a good.
But that's because he's such a good receiving
scores, touchdowns like nobody's business.
No one's, not even his business.
For real.
It's 13 touchdowns rushing,
mm-hmm.
and just above 900 yards there. At number 6, I have Josh Jacobs, the leading rusher this year, with a whopping 1,653 yards, which is crazy.
Homeboy balled out. And nobody expected it. They declined his 5th-year option and everything. They were like, nah, dude, you're a bust. You're going to be here for one more year. And then he said, all right, bet. And then he got himself paid. I think it was just a franchise tag. I don't remember off the top of my head if he got himself a deal or if it was just the tag. But either way, like he's getting good money this upcoming season.
12 touchdowns, too. It wasn't
See if he actually sticks around because the Raiders don't seem to be interested in winning.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just an NFC West thing of teams not named the Chiefs. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who do you got at 5?
My number 5
or 6.
My number 6.
Excuse
my
me.
number 6, Miles Sanders, who we already touched on a little bit there. Great season and sticking around in Philadelphia. Got that 1-2 punch now with Rashad Penny.
Yeah. Really good offensive line for him to be behind and to help him out.
That was another thing in the news. Jason Kelsey is coming back for another season.
What?
So
he's pulling the Tom Brady where he's
he never retired. So
I thought he had said that
he thought about retiring, but then he said, "Nah, I'm still like the best center in the league."
Facts,
and his brother's still playing, so why not?
Yeah, he's older than his brother though.
He is. They are siblings.
Mm-hmm. So
cracking into the top 5 now. Who you got?
I have Austin Eckler.
Austin Eckler, straight baller.
I value him more than you do.
Apparently.
Who's in your 5?
My number 5 is Joshua Jacobs.
So we just
baller.
Just switched.
It's crazy how that happened. It's almost like you started your list based off of mine. Almost.
I hate you. Who's your number 4?
My number 4, I got Saquon Barkley.
I hate you.
Who saved my fantasy team. I took him in the 3rd round. I took a flyer on him, and he was my best player most of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, he's either him or Devontae Adams. So
yeah. Devontae Adams had a record year. Crazy.
Yeah, crazy year. Somehow I still missed the playoffs because maybe it has something to do with trading Travis Etienne at midseason. I don't know.
Yeah, and for some reason I can never remember his name. So
who? Saquon?
No, Devontae Adams.
What about him?
I can never remember his name. That's how I was.
Yeah, he was calling Devontae Smith.
I know, I'm a dumb idiot.
Which is he's a good receiver named Devonta, but he's not the best.
Okay, so there's a funny thing here where Saquon's also my 3rd or my 4th, but I switched around my top 6 like 3 or 4 different times, and I was like, yeah.
You kind of just put it into like a jar and shook it up and said, "Looks good to me."
Freak you. This is I thought about this long and hard.
I was there for all 5 minutes of it. Yes,
Shut
it's true.
up. Oh my glizziness. Stop talking.
But yeah, Saquon reviving his career. He did get himself the franchise tag. We'll see if he plays under it or if they get himself a big deal or, I mean, maybe they trade him. I mean, there's still room for something like that to go on.
Yeah, 1,300 yards and 10 tutty-wuddies. That's pretty good, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I think that's pretty good. Number 3, I got Nick Chubb.
Chubb, he's good. He's a very good running back for the Cleveland Browns. He does what Browns running backs do. It's run the darn ball. He's one of the best in the league at it. Run the dang ball. And he's I mean, I think there could be even a case to put him at number 1. He is
I think so.
A certified baller.
I think he could be number 1, definitely. He's definitely...
He could definitely even be higher
than 3, yeah, for sure. I don't think my words are very good coming out of my mouth right now.
How long have we been podcasting?
I don't know, but he has 1,500 yards and 12 touchdowns, which is more than a lot of people.
It is. You're speaking mad facts, dog.
I'm literally doing that.
Who was that? Your number 3?
Yeah.
I also had Nick Chubb at number 3. So
copying me.
Number Doso.
Number Doso. I got CMC.
I also have CMC. Crazy how that happened and how you said you mixed up the top of your list.
I did. I had him at number 1 for a second, and then I was like, no, he can't be number 1.
I thought you would put him at 1 because you talked up CMC all year, and I mean, for good reason. He had a great season, and then you don't even put him at 1.
I can talk him up all year and still put him at 2. 2 is the second best.
It is, but it's not the best.
I think he's really good for fantasy too. He's like,
I mean, if you are good at football, you typically are also good in the fantasy football realm.
That's not always true. Certain people who are bad at football are better at fantasy than other people who are good.
Yes, but for the most part, I mean, if you just take people who are good at football, your fantasy team will do pretty good. It's the best fantasy advice I've ever got. It's just like, take who's good at football.
How about you freaking shut up?
What a trade at midseason, though, by the 49ers.
For real.
I mean, I saw that and was like, that looks like a good move, but also like, doesn't like anyone kind of work in as a running back for the Niners? And like, yeah, but when you get somebody of, like 3 tiers higher than, your average 5th round, 2nd year running back or whatever, who the Niners will, typically have running it, and you get someone who's just like the next level and then plug them into that system.
Yeah.
Good night.
Yeah. Good night.
Sleep tight. And that wraps up this
No, because like you were saying, anybody could work there, and that's true. And anybody could, even a receiver last year.
Oh, yeah, Deebo Samuel.
And he worked this year, too. Yeah, I think he had 300 rushing yards, something like that.
Mm-hmm, he was good.
And CMC really took advantage of that and played really well with just over 1,100 yards and 8 touchdowns running. He threw a touchdown.
Yep.
He received several more. I don't have the stats for that. And he had quite a few receiving yards as well.
Should have put him in a quarterback at the NFC Championship game. Maybe he'd be number 1.
Oh, my goodness, dude. I would be...
Start the Super Bowl.
Oh
I mean, actually, that probably would have been what they had to do. So Jimmy G may have been healthy by then. But
yeah, crazy. And as no surprise to anyone, we both have Derrick Henry as our number 1.
Yep, the king.
Not much
doing
to be
king
said.
Things. Future Hall of Famer. He runs people over. Yeah, the Titans lost like 10 games in a row to end the season or whatever it was.
It wasn't his fault,
10. But he still just balled out the entire time.
I'd love to see him in a Bills uniform.
Oh, yeah. That's the other name I think we were thinking of.
I believe
for someone getting traded to a team like the Bills. And I think something like that'd be a lot of fun to see, him in Buffalo there, him and Josh Allen just running fools over.
Yeah, just a monstrous man with another monstrous man.
Just two monsters in the backfield there.
Yeah, he's 29 and he's 6'3" and 250 pounds.
I wouldn't be surprised if he gets traded, though, because, it looks like Tennessee's been clearing house over the last couple of weeks. They've been cutting a lot of players. Looks like they're kind of going into full rebuild mode. So if they can get, I think a first-round pick would be fair for him, especially from the Bills, who expect to be picking in, like, the late 20s or, for them, ideally, at number 32. So I think he could be the missing piece for them on offense.
Yeah,
we'll see if anything happens.
I'd love to see his ginormousness next to Josh Allen's ginormousness.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a sick double threat back there for running.
Oh, yeah. You can run a lot of, like, read option and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Derrick Henry's not supposed to be a running back. Like, his size and his weight, he's not supposed to be...
He's like an offensive lineman or something.
He's an offensive lineman, or he could be like a pretty hefty quarterback, or...
Yeah, he can throw.
Or like someone on defense. It could be a corner, not a corner, a linebacker,
mm-hmm.
someone like that.
Play a number of positions. And at the end of the day, if you really think about it, he does what all the best Titans running backs do.
And that's run the ball.
And that's run the ball.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Good night. Leave a review
No,
on
I said good night.
iTunes. Give us 5 stars on Spotify, or 4 or 3, or whatever you think is appropriate for the show.
Not 2, though.
Let us know in the comment section down. Anything but 2 stars. Let us know if you're on YouTube in the comment section down below what you think of the episode and who your top running backs are. And I think there's even a feature now on Spotify where you can say what did you think of this episode, and you can say things. So maybe I'll do something like that, and then you can, if you're on Spotify, you can put down what you thought.
Yeah.
And who you think or running backs are.
If you comment, leave a review, anything like that, we'll read all of them. And if it's super cute and funny, we'll read it on the show.
Ooh, leave something cute and funny.
Yeah, just like my face.
That's what they called me in high school.
Or Beneda's face, apparently.
Yeah.
Leave that in the comments.
See you next time.
Bye-bye. Good night. Love you all, except for you, Ben.